Hello YouTube, it's Ryan here with Hobbies Man once again, and today we're going to be doing another manga review. Today we're going to be looking at Saint Seiya, Silver Saints Saga, or Silver Saints Arc, which is contained in these two volumes. So, I've already done a first video for this series, so there's no need in me introducing the book facts anymore. So let's move on with the showcase of the volumes. So, here's the cover for book 4. It's green because this is a pair of Shun volumes. Because if you guys don't know, this Kanzenban edition has 2 books per character of the main 5 knights. So the first 2 are Saint Seiya's, the second 2 are Shun's, then the third ones are Hyoga's, which is blue. Then the fourth one I think is Andromeda Shun. Sorry, so the second one, the green ones are for Shiryu. Sorry, I always get them confused. And the fifth one is for Iki, so that's why they're orange, if you guys can see them right there. And then those last 2 back there are Seiya again, so they give you a different color so that you don't get bored. So yeah, this is volume 4. The front of it is blank. It's red color because that's the main Saint Seiya color. It has a color page. And it has this front page, which is in color, which is kind of a waste of a color page, but you know, it is what it is. And then the story starts. This one has some color pages in it. Let me see if I can find them. So it has these like Kanzenban pages, which are like how it came out in the magazine. Has some more in the back. And it also has these at the very, very back, which are explanations, which are also in color. And the arc is actually contained in the second half of that volume and the vast majority of this 5th one. So here's the front of it. It's in Hyoga's color. There you go. The front, again, is blank. It has a blue front page, which is interesting. If I remember correctly, the original copies I have of the first 4 don't have this, and I don't know if any of those have it either. But this is pretty common in the Yu Yu Hakusho books. So yeah, it also has this pull-out poster. Let me see if I will be able to show you guys without tearing my book apart. There you go, really good stuff. I like that a lot. I like the red and blue of Hyoga and Seiya. Interior blue page. And then right into the story. This one does have color pages in it. I just don't know where. Let me see. Okay, so it has a blank, normal black and white page. Then it turns into color pages. And then it transitions into these 2-tone pages. Like that. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Most of the Silver Saints arc is mostly in this volume, so that's cool. And the premise here is basically that Seiya and the Bronze Knights have managed to escape Mount Fuji thanks to Mu, the Gold Saint, and now are being pursued by the Silver Saints. So basically, orders have come down from Sanctuary to get rid of the Bronze Saints, because they use their armors for personal gain through fame and glory by competing in the Galaxian Wars, right? And so they are breaking the tenets of the Knights, and so they have to die. But it's not actually the case, and so the Bronze Knights have to battle the Silver Saints, and they have to survive, and eventually they have to protect Athena from this hidden plot to get rid of her. So, yeah. It's only 6 chapters, but because these chapters used to be like 40 pages, like 25 to 40 pages, it's a lot of reading, actually. So a lot of stuff happens. So the story starts, the plotline starts with Seiya and Iki talking at the end of their battle. And Iki reveals that their parents, or their father at least, is Old Man Kido. So yeah, then there's this earthquake, and there's shooting stars that appear out of Mount Fuji, which are, of course, the Bronze Knights, helped by Mu, who teleports them out of there. So, yeah, then we get introduced to Lizard Misty and Marine, of course, Eagle Marine, who is Seiya's teacher, right? They meet, and then Seiya shows up because Lizard Misty and Marine show up to this little like beach where Mu and Seiya and the other 4 saints are. And Seiya fights Misty, and Seiya loses initially. Then Moses beats Shiryu, Asterion beats Hyoga, and then we get back to round 2 with Seiya, where he sneak attacks and manages to win after this kind of interesting bit of posturing from both of the characters. So I'm talking about the story in very broad strokes, so I'm trying not to, give you everything away because it's not really fun that way. But it's kind of interesting how this battle plays out. Mostly it's just that Misty, being a Silver Saint, has never actually had to feel pain because his Cosmos is just so great that he can beat any enemy he wants in single combat with a single blow, right? But Seiya, of course, also has great Cosmo, and so he doesn't go down initially. And so eventually Misty removes his clothing for some reason, and this is when Seiya strikes and manages to beat Misty, and I think he kills him, which is pretty common in this series. A lot of death happens all around, and it's pretty interesting. So yeah, then there's this big plot twist where the saints that Seiya was protecting that had already died were not actually the saints that they were supposed to be. They were the Black Saints, which looked exactly like the Bronze kids, and so every Silver Saint that battled a Bronze Knight was actually battling a Black Knight, and they lost. So, or sorry, they beat them, but they didn't kill the right people. So this sets off a bit of a commotion, and of course, there's more battles that ensue from there. Hyoga battles Asterion for this second time. In this case, it's actually Hyoga versus Asterion, and the Silver Knights end up infighting. And Marine loses because they realize that she was not actually with them. She was helping Seiya secretly. And so she loses, and then she's used to lure Seiya to the beach again and to have another battle with them. And here Seiya fights against Moses, who is the saint of the whale. And Seiya's Cosmo explodes, and it gives him wings, which allows him to battle whale Moses in a way that he wasn't supposed to, right? And of course, this is also foreshadowing for the Sagittarius armor eventually, so it's pretty cool how that happens there. And yeah, so Asterion eventually shows up and then beats Seiya. And then Marine manages to kill him after she manages to save herself from the situation she was in. Eventually, the boys, aka the Bronze Knights, meet up, and then they realize that Marine had left Seiya a message in the sand, which says, "No matter what you do, protect Athena." And so then Seiya reveals their father to all of the kids, and so it turns out that every Bronze Knight is actually a brother to each other. They're all related, at least they're all stepbrothers. Or half-brothers. Yeah, half-brothers. Except for Ikki and Shun. They're actually completely, blood brothers. And then they go back to Saori and realize that the the Colosseum has been destroyed, and that she is there, but, she's alone. They tell her off. They tell her, we don't want anything to do with you anymore. Please leave us alone. But she's like, no, you guys are cowards. Come on, you need to help me. I am Athena. Please, stuff like that. And then Jermaine, or Kamian, I don't know how to say his name, but he steals her away. Seiya goes after her, and then the other Bronze Saints are having to battle some crows for some reason. I think it has to do with Jamian's power. Shaina shows up, and Seiya has to run away because he can't beat both Jamian of Crow and what is it? Python China? And Snake China? And so he jumps off a cliff, Saori steps up and tries to protect Seiya because he's hurt. And eventually Ikki shows up because he didn't die, because, you know, Ikki is a phoenix, so he rises from death. And he shows up to kill Jermaine. And it's a really cool fight, actually, because he's like, you know, such a little bird like you should know when to step down when faced with a larger one, right? Which is really cool because he's a phoenix and the other guy's a crow, so it's kind of badass how that works. And Ikki ends up kicking more ass. The boys show up to help, and then Ikki goes away. He's like, you guys are here. There's no reason for me to stay. I'll see you guys later. And, you know, Ikki's supposed to be the cool guy, so he has to do that. And Hyoga gives him some advice, and he's like, thank you, and he leaves. And then the boys lose, and everyone is trapped in stone except for Shiryu. So we have Shiryu versus Algol, who is the Perseus saint. So he has armor, and he also has a shield with Medusa's head on it. So if you know Percy Jackson's Gorgon shield that Talia had, I think it's the same kind of idea, which is pretty cool. And so Shiryu is like, well, it doesn't matter how it works. If I have eyeballs, you're gonna be able to, you know, turn me to stone. So what I'll do is just get rid of my eyes, and now you won't have any power over me. And so he does that, and he wins, and it's crazy, and it's a crazy end. And like, man, Shiryu just gets beat to hell all the time. I mean, like, Seiya gets beat to hell, but like, Shiryu died in the Galaxian Wars, had to be punched back to life, and now he has to take away his eyesight and just destroy his eyeballs, which is crazy. And yeah, that's it for the plotline. It's really, really good stuff. However, I do have one complaint, and that is it's this whole thing that every time the Silver Saints show up, they're like, we're Silver Saints. You're never going to be able to beat us. We're 1,000 times stronger than you, 10 times stronger than you. And then Seiya and the boys are like, bet. And then they get their ass clapped, right? Well, like once, but then they come back and kick ass like way too hard. So it's kind of like, are you guys really that powerful if these guys can beat you even after they've already been beaten once with no actual rest in between battles? It's kind of sus. And the problem is that like it just doesn't make these guys serious enough so that when they fight the Gold Saints, it might not really feel that important. You know, on the first read through, you know, once you understand the situation, it kind of is fine because the Gold Saints are significantly like 100 times stronger than the Bronze guys. So it makes sense. But the Silver Saints, I feel, lose too easily. Of course, it's also partially because there's hubris involved. So they think they're better, so they don't try that hard. But like, I mean, they should start trying once Seiya and the boys start killing all of them off, right? Like, they pick them off one by one. It's like, get serious from the beginning and this won't happen, right? So it's one minor nitpick. It doesn't really matter. Maybe Kuro might have changed it in the newest version of the story. I'm not sure, but I can see that happening. But yeah, character-wise, we have way too many Silver Saints showing up, and most of them are chumps. The only ones that really matter are, of course, Marin and Shaina. And Shaina doesn't really matter all that much, but there's Asterion, who I think was Cerberus. There was Perseus. There was Algol, Perseus was Algol. There was Moses. There was Jamien, the Crow. There was Misty. Yeah, there was a bunch of them. It was crazy. And none of them were really all that good. Some of them had cool powers, though. So, you know, that's kind of cool, but nothing really important there. We get the reveal that Saori is Athena, which we already knew. Ikki is back, and he shows up, and he's like, I'm here. I'm not dead. See you guys later. And Mu and his little buddy show up as well. And I don't know if they've already fixed our armors at this point. I think they did, right? They did it at the end of the Bronze Knights saga. But they're gonna do it again before they get into Sanctuary. So, yeah. World building wise, we get the connection of the siblings. It's very similar to like Umbrella Academy, which is kind of funny. You know, of course, Athena, Silver Saints equals a higher tier. They're supposed to be 10 times stronger than the Bronze Saints, but like I said, it's not really the case. They're barely stronger. And more Cosmos, and we get that foreshadowing of Seiya getting the Sagittarius armor when he grows some wings. In terms of artwork, it's old, but really, really good. There's no fan service, and the rating for this story is a 3 out of 5 because the Silver Saints are chumps, I really enjoyed my time with this part of the story. I'm not gonna lie, it was really enjoyable. But every time I was enjoying it, I was like, this should be difficult for these guys, and it's not. So it's kind of like annoying, right? So 3 out of 5. It's not the best part of Sanctuary, but it is coming. The best part of Sanctuary is definitely the gold houses. So I'm really excited to get to that point of the story. So yeah, I'll probably end up reading that next month, or start at the end of this month and move it into next month. I'm not sure, but I should get done with Sanctuary by the end of the year. So that's all I have to say to you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know your thought. And thank you guys very much for watching. See you guys later.